Good evening. I call to order the administrative meeting of the Bernalillo County Commission for Tuesday, October 9th, 2018. We are going to begin tonight's meeting with a silent invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by our Fire Chief, Greg Perez. And just, I would like to ask during our silent invocation if you would just give a thought to our dear friend Sandy Pino, who passed away a couple of weeks ago. She was a very long-time APD employee. She loved her APD, she loved her boxing, and she loved this community, so we will miss her terribly. I want to welcome everyone tonight, and as you might notice, we are in a rather unusual situation because both our chair and vice chair are excused tonight, so I would like to note that for the record. So we will begin tonight's meeting actually by electing a temporary or interim chair for tonight's meeting and an interim vice chair. So at this time, I will ask the commissioners if there are any nominations for chair for tonight's meeting only.
Commissioner, I'd like to nominate Commissioner Hart-Stebbins as chair tonight.
All right, we have a nomination. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, since there's only one nomination, that would be me, Commissioner Hart-Stebbins. I will chair tonight's meeting. We now have to choose a vice chair for tonight's meeting. I would like to nominate Commissioner O'Malley.
Second.
Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, Commissioner O'Malley will serve as vice chair of the board for tonight's meeting only. So thank you very much for your confidence. With that, we'll move on. Item number 3, Madam Chair, Madam County Manager, are there any additions or changes to tonight's agenda?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, yes, there's some changes. The first one is item 3A, acknowledgement of James Corky Morris becomes 4C, like in cat. 3B, Commission, this is discussed process for filing vacancy for Representative District 27 becomes item 13E. The next one is item 12B, Parks and Recreation, South Valley Swimming Pool Rehabilitation, Phase 2B, construction moved to consent agenda as item 9F. Next, defer discussions item 13A, 13B, 13C, and 13D to the October 23rd, 2018 meeting. And last, move all approvals and discussion items 13E up on the agenda to be heard before proclamations and public comment. And a vote is required for above changes to the agenda.
Thank you, Madam County Manager. Do I have a motion to approve those changes to the agenda?
So moved.
We have a motion from Commissioner Smith, a second from Commissioner O'Malley. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That passes unanimously. Thank you for those changes. So with that, we go immediately to item 9A, well, to the approval of the consent agenda. So Madam Clerk, may I have a financial resolution number for B1, B2, B3, and B4, please?
Yes, ma'am. Number 1 is FR 2018-71. Number 2 is FR 2018-72. Number 3 is FR 2018-73. And number 4 is FR 2018-74.
Thank you. So with that, I move the consent agenda with just a reminder that item 12B is now part of the consent agenda. I need a second? Second from Commissioner O'Malley. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The consent agenda passes unanimously. We now...
Madam Chairwoman, if we can go back to item 4A, which is the minutes.
Thank you. I'm sorry, approval of the minutes. That would be 8A.
Yes,
Oh, thank you for that
I'm
reminder.
looking at the script,
We
sorry.
have Commissioner O'Malley moves approval of the minutes of the September 25th, 2018 meeting. We have a second from Commissioner Smith. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? That passes unanimously. Thank you, Julie. We now move to 10A, which is introduction of an ordinance on the pro rata program.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, Commissioners. Tonight, we are here introducing a new ordinance that's made possible through the Urban Charter. The proposed Bernalillo County Code 47 will create a pro rata program. This program facilitates private development by enabling a private property owner to pay for the cost of roadway infrastructure up front, and then get reimbursed by subsequent property owners who also benefit from that roadway as they develop their properties. New Mexico state statute neither allows nor expressly forbids counties from establishing a pro rata program. So prior to the passage of the Urban Charter, Bernalillo County was not able to establish a pro rata program despite repeated requests from property owners throughout the county. To date, we have briefed all commissioners on the details of this program, and tonight we are requesting approval to introduce and to publish the Bernalillo County Code Chapter 47. And I stand for questions.
Thank you, Commissioners. Any questions or comments?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner O'Malley.
thank you. I was briefed on this as well. It makes sense to me in terms of, we've got a lot of subdivisions, and the first one in, a lot of times has to pay the cost, the full cost of, and there's no way to get the return, and that's a pretty big expense for, especially as you mentioned, as you showed us on a map, someone who wants to develop their property. So I think it's a good idea. Thank you for your work on this, and I would move approval.
We have a motion from Commissioner O'Malley, a second from Commissioner Smith. Again, thank you for your work on this, for your briefing. I agree with Commissioner O'Malley. This is something that will benefit a lot of property owners in Bernalillo County and bring some equity to the development process. So we have a motion and second. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That passes unanimously.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. We have no resolutions to adopt tonight, so we move to approvals. Starting with 12A, the Metropolitan Detention Center Medical, Dental, Mental Health, and Psychiatric Services contract.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. Lisa Cedillo-White, Deputy County Manager of General Services. The item that you have before you is the motion to award request for proposals to Centurion Detention Health Services, LLC, for medical, dental, mental health, and psychiatric services. The purchasing department and several other county departments and representatives started the process of the RFP back in February. And we, through long meetings and a long procurement process, we had an evaluation committee that was comprised of medical professionals, subject matter experts. We had our CIO, Robert Benavides, also involved in the process. The evaluation committee ranked Centurion. We received 4 proposals, and of the 4 proposals, ranked Centurion as the number 1 ranked firm of those that submitted proposals and were also interviewed. The second motion is to approve a 4-year agreement with Centurion in the total amount of $52,983,126, which would be inclusive of New Mexico gross receipts taxes, pharmaceuticals and dialysis, pass-through to the county, and it would be a 4-year contract. What that equates to is $13 million for year one. Starting on January 1st, 2019, our current contract with Correct Care Solutions was a 4-year contract that terminates on December 31st. So it's $13 million for the first year, $13 million for the second year, with a 2.5% escalator for year 3 and a 2.5% escalator for year 4. The third motion is to authorize the county manager to approve the business associate agreement between Bernalillo County and Centurion Detention Health Services, LLC. And the fourth motion is to authorize the county manager to approve all future amendments. At this time, I'd like to call up Megan Ellsworth. She also sat on the evaluation committee, and she is the Director of Operations at the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, my name is Megan Ellsworth. I'm the Administrative Services Director for MDC. I'm pleased to be here tonight on behalf of MDC. We're looking forward to working with Centurion and moving our services and our opportunities here forward, and the idea of not just providing inmate services in jail, but also working very hard with the Behavioral Health Department to keep the transition and hopefully be able to help these inmates not return. So Centurion was the best selection. I'm very excited, and I look forward to starting the new contract.
At this point, I guess before, do you have any questions, Commission, in regards to this contract? This is kind of one of the largest contracts that the county has. Are there any questions for me or for staff?
Commissioners, any questions or comments? Lisa, I do have one question. So what is the obligation of Centurion to do discharge planning, to connect inmates who are leaving their care, or any kind of medical service or behavioral health service at MDC, connect those people with providers in the community?
Okay. Madam Chair, members of the Commission, in the scope of services, the title is medical, dental, mental health, and psychiatric services. The obligation of Centurion as our new medical contractor beginning January 1st, there are 2 FTEs that have been assigned as discharge planners, and those particular discharge planners will be working in conjunction with other case managers to ensure that the inmates are given that warm handoff into the community. So that is an obligation, and that is built into the contract, and there are 2 FTEs assigned to that particular service.
That's great. As you stated, or Megan stated, it's really important that we do everything we can to get people stable and make sure they don't come back to us because of a lack of services. So it's an important warm handoff component of this contract. So thank you once again for building that in.
You're welcome. Madam Chair and members of the Commission, at this point I'd like to call Rock Welch, and he is the operations manager for Centurion. He'd like to say a couple of words.
Thank you. Madam Chairman and Commissioners, we are so excited about this partnership and looking forward to spending more time working with you, working on reentry and other obligations such as working on the consent agreement, following through on the quality of care that we believe has been taking place already, and making sure that we don't miss a step in this transition and making sure that it goes forward. We've been here in New Mexico for a couple years already and work with the state to do the corrections care, and hope that our reputation and the things that we do to be part of your team will satisfy all the things that we have promised. Thank you.
I think we have no questions, so I just want to say thank you very much. I know this has been many months in the making, and this is probably the most, well, it's obviously the highest value contract that we have, but also one of the most important. So I want to thank everybody who served on the committee, and Lisa, I know the level of attention, Megan, all of you that you give to this, so thank you. Robert, I know you were part of it. Thank you, Robert Benavides. If there are no other questions, any more information, I will move approval. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Passes unanimously.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to pay special thanks to all of the committee members, Megan Ellsworth, Katrina Hodrum, Natalia Downing, Ken Martinez, Rodney McNeese, Dr. Perryman Collins, Dr. Marsha Harris, Dr. William Weiss, Emily Bedred, and Robert Benavides, and also Ms. Shirley Reagan. That was county team. So thank you very much, Commissioners.
That's a great team, and I really appreciate the fact you had 2 members of our Addiction Treatment Advisory Board as part of this. So you did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
And sir, welcome to Bernalillo County. We look forward to this being a very happy relationship.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we move on to what is, and I just want to point out to everybody that I was one of the people that requested that we defer items 13A, B, C, and D. They're important, and out of respect both for the staff and for the commissioners who are not here, I felt it was important that they be here to hear each of these items. So 13A, B, C, and D have been deferred to our next meeting, so we are on to item 13E, which is discussion of the process for filling a vacancy or the vacancy that has been created in House District, New Mexico House District 27. So if I may, Julie, could you please walk us through the process that we have used in the past for filling this vacancy?
In the past, I believe the last time that we had a representative district for solely in the boundaries within Bernalillo County, the process is we solicit for resumes of interested parties who would like to fill that vacancy. We issue a press release giving the parameters of those resumes and applications per se that are submitted to the county manager's office, and then we will come back at a subsequent meeting to approve who will be filling that vacancy should you choose to do so.
Mr. County Attorney, is there anything you would like to add to this as far as what state law says about this process?
No, I think it's fine, and I think it's important, as pointed out, that this is a single county district which has that process in it, as opposed to where we had multi-county districts. So this county's recommendation will be very important.
Thank you. So I would propose then, following past process, that we would immediately solicit letters of interest and resumes, set a deadline of perhaps noon on October 19th. So that would give us the option of putting it on the agenda for October 23rd. And I don't know that we need to vote on this, just to direct the county manager to get the press release out and put that process in motion. I would assume that anybody who's interested can reach out to the county manager's office for clarification or to answer any questions.
Just a couple of real quick questions, because county attorney and I served on the redistricting committee for about 10 years ago when we went through a lot of this process. So I did have a couple of questions about it, Madam Chair. In that we have an election coming up November 6th, I don't know, I appreciate your wanting to get this done as timely as possible, but if we tried to make an appointment on the next meeting, which would be the 23rd, that would really literally only be a couple of weeks before an election, and I don't know that that would benefit anybody one way or the other. I would suggest that on this particular case, we might look at doing it on the next meeting in November 13th, because by that point, someone would have been actually elected, and then we could go ahead and appoint that person. Otherwise, you're appointing somebody who may not be serving in that position in January. So I just wanted to point that out.
Thank you, and I think you make an excellent point. I know that we have considered that in the past. I think if we follow this process, it would give us the option of voting on the 23rd, and then it obviously can be with, a majority vote be deferred till after the election. So yeah. I think you make an excellent point. And unless there's any objection, I would prefer to move forward with that, but certainly it would entertain if you wanted to make any changes in that process.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other questions, comments, input? All right, with that, I think we can now move back to our regular order, which would be, we'll go on to proclamations, item 4A. So that is a certificate of distinction. So, Madam County Manager.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, it's always with great pride to bring these acknowledgements before you. The performance management, as you all know, is a bedrock principle of professional local government, providing data and invaluable perspective on programs and outcomes through formal measurement to ensure county achievement and success. So as you all know, our goal is always to be transparent, and these ladies behind me are ensuring that we meet that goal and we meet that commitment to the community and, of course, to our commissioners. The International City County Management Association honors governments each year with certificates and performance management awards, recognizing local government entities for data-driven management success at 3 levels of accomplishment. These awards reflect local government's accomplishments in collecting verified data, training staff on measurement procedures, and effectively communicating government performance to the public through a variety of media. So for 2018, Bernalillo County was again awarded the Certificate of Distinction in Performance Management. So we're one of 13 local governments to receive this honor and one of 57 entities recognized overall by the International City County Management Association. So the Certificate of Distinction also reflects Bernalillo County's commitment to using data-driven decision-making in our programs and strategic planning, and to sharing our knowledge with other local governments in our community. So we'd like to therefore congratulate Shirley Reagan, our Deputy County Manager of Finance, Maria Zuniga. She is the administrator for the Business Improvement Office, Angela Montano, also here, and Veronica Shornack. So, you know, this staff, lean and mean, they're the ones that are making this happen. And we promised that we would come up with our strategic plan, and it's there. If you don't have it already, you can access it online. But we're very proud of all the work that they're doing. And so I just wanted to make sure that you all knew of this award that they had received, and we wanted to congratulate them and thank you all for everything that you do for the county. Would you like to say something, Maria?
Sure.
Okay.
Quick.
Not to put you on the
No,
spot.
that's okay.
Okay.
Madam Chair, members of the commission, thank you. I want to just really quickly give a few words of thanks, of course, to Julie and Shirley for their support in our office of the work we do in business improvement and performance. And really all the deputy county managers here at the county are very supportive of the work we do. And without that, you know, we couldn't do the work we're doing. And briefly, just introduce my staff. There's Veronica Shornack. She started with us 5 years ago as an intern and has done an amazing job. Now she's in a permanent position with us. And Angela Montano, she started with us 3 years ago when our office was formed and brought an incredible amount of knowledge and wealth of information with her as well. We also have 2 interns that work with us that have been amazing. So obviously we're a big believer in the intern program here at the county. So thank you.
And with that, we'd like to present them the award.
And I would just like to add, you know, I have, in the almost 10 years I've been here on the county commission, the finance department has often come to us, you know, receiving recognition for your excellence. This is just one more example. I know that ICMA has very high standards, and just yet another recognition of the excellent work that you do for all of us here in Bernalillo County. So thank you for that, and congratulations. right, Madam County Manager, acknowledgement of Mary Murnane.
Okay, Madam Chairman, Commissioners, you know, and these awards, you know, these employees, they get them and they don't say anything, and as soon as we know about them, we know that you would like to know about them in our community as well. So this is an acknowledgement of the Bernalillo County Public Works Division and Mary Murnane. So to the Public Works Division, this is on being selected for the 2018 Corporate Energy Management Award by the New Mexico Association of Energy Engineers for outstanding accomplishments in developing, organizing, managing, and implementing a corporate energy management team. And then particularly, they also acknowledged Mary Murnane for being selected for the 2018 Energy Manager of the Year by the New Mexico Association of Energy Engineers Board of Directors for outstanding individual accomplishments in promoting the practices, principles of energy management and development. And the New Mexico Association of Energy Engineers is a nonprofit professional society whose mission is to promote the scientific and educational interests of those engaged in the energy industry and to foster action for sustainable development. So also Roger Paul, he's the Deputy County Manager for Public Works, the fearless leader. Thank you, Roger. Thanks for your support, and thank you for everything that you all do. So with that, would you like to say a few words, Mary?
Madam Chair, members of the Commission, want to really thank the community and you all for your support of undertaking energy conservation and renewable energy measures that make sense. I think that we've tried to do things that are sensible, and they're not always glamorous, so it's especially nice for the staff to be appreciated for the day-to-day work that they do, trying to improve the efficiency of our buildings. And I very much want to thank my staff and my colleagues and coworkers, because together we all have been able to help move us in the right direction, and that's it's always very gratifying for us to receive this award, I think, especially for staff and for Public Works. Thank you.
And that concludes our presentation.
And congratulations, Mary. Congratulations, Roger. You know, this is really tremendous recognition. Mary, it's always been a pleasure working with you. I really believe you're the consummate professional when it comes to the work that you do. I love the fact that you feel free to tell me that I'm being unreasonable, which I actually really appreciate. That it's important that I know that. But anyway, it's you do amazing work, Roger. You too, you know that energy efficiency is really important to all of us on the board, and just your work in making that happen is really appreciated. So thank you and congratulations. All right, and next we have an acknowledgement. Acknowledgement of James Corky Morris by Commissioner Smith.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I'm not sure if anyone is in the audience from James Corky Morris's family. I'm not sure if they got notification of the acknowledgement, but we did want to acknowledge the passing of a very important public servant to Bernalillo County. Madam Chair, the Bernalillo County Board of Commissioners does hereby acknowledge James Corky Morris. Bernalillo County has lost a public servant, former County Commissioner James Corky Morris, who is probably best known for guiding others in the political arena. Corky Morris passed away on September 27th at the age of 83. Corky Morris served on the Bernalillo County Commission from 1972 to 1982. Back then, the commission only had 3 members, and those 10 years amounted to 3 terms. When Mr. Morris was elected to county government, commissioners served two-year terms, but he helped usher in the 4-year term and served 2 before leaving the commission. Corky Morris also served 2 terms as chair of the Bernalillo County Commission. He served as chairman of the state Republican Party, treasurer and campaign manager for Pete Domenici, Jack Stahl, and Hal Stratton. He also was the state chairman of the Reagan-Bush campaign in the 1980s. Corky Morris was a product of Highland High School and the University of New Mexico, where he majored in business administration and played baseball. We thank Corky Morris for his service to Bernalillo County and New Mexico and express our sincere condolences to his family. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right, with that, we move to public comment and communications. So we have no communications, public comment. Julie, how many people do we have signed up?
We have 7 signed up.
Okay, we have 7 signed up. I just want everyone who has signed up to speak to know you will have 2 minutes to speak. You'll be given a 30-second notice to wrap up your comments and a final notice when your time is up. When your name is called, please make your way down to the podium and state your name for the record before you begin your comments. So, Julie, if you would please read off the first speakers.
Andres Mata, E. Ward, Chris Toledo.
So I'm third on the list. My name's Chris Toledo. I am the president of the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Association. Madam Chair, Commissioners, I would like to thank you for taking the time to address a recent exodus of deputies from the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department. As you all know, several of our deputies recently left because of the pay difference with APD. As a result, we drafted a MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, on September 4th and presented it. Well, I met with Commissioner Smith directly and presented it to him. And then I got presented to our county manager, Julie Baca. So I would like to personally thank Commissioner Smith for meeting with me one-on-one. I appreciate it. My intention with Bernalillo County Sheriff's Association is to meet with all of you individually one-on-one as time permits in the future, so we can address any questions, concerns, or problems that may come up in the future. I would also personally like to thank Julie Baca for her hard work and dedication on this. I think she's doing an excellent job. I would like to continue to resolve these issues that we have and make sure that we don't lose any more deputies. I know that APD just got increased funding of $3 million to recruit more, and I know they're currently aggressively recruiting our deputies. So thank you for your time and your support in the resolution. Thank you.
Commissioner O'Malley.
Thank you, and thank you for bringing this concern. I think it's a concern that's region-wide. You're not, obviously, the Bernalillo County Sheriff isn't the only one that's experiencing these challenges. APD has for some time, and now it's Santa Fe, and now it's Rio Rancho, or it has been Rio Rancho. I was wondering, so what does it cost to send someone through the academy per, do you know?
It's over $100,000.
Okay.
It's just for the academy initial training, and then from there you receive specialized training in as an FTO, K9. I'm a detective in the Special Victims Unit. That's additional training. Then there's other classes that we will attend. Prior to me becoming a detective, I was a defensive tactics instructor. I attended courses both at the state level and local classes put on that cost the county money. So the longer we stay in this career, the more the county has invested in us. And
So the initial investment is about $100,000.
about $100,000, correct.
So how do we require that, a sheriff, people stay for a period of a year or two? So that we can keep that investment here, at least for a couple of
Other
years?
states do that, but if there's a pay differential, I know in California, I lived there previously, and their law enforcement, they would have to reimburse that department for its loss. But on the competitive side in California, that agency will pay back. So if we had that same situation here, APD would then purchase that from the county. So if I was going to have to reimburse the county for my training prior to leaving, that recruiting agency knows that, and they will take advantage of that and pay it anyway.
Okay, so that's if you want to pay back or reimburse, but is there such a thing as you are committed for a year or two to stay with this?
Not that I've seen in other states. I'm not aware of everywhere, but I know as far as Texas and California, that's not entirely true.
Okay, I don't know anything about it. I was just wondering, because that's a big investment, as you pointed out, and then to lose it. So the question I have too is, so you start this process where you've increased pay, and then somebody else increases pay, and then somebody else increases pay, and So where do you see the end of this? Because this is that's a big concern.
It's our concern as well. We have a short supply. It's a supply and demand issue. A lot of individuals do not want to get into this career because of the risks to them or their families, the danger that it poses on a daily basis. And then you have to also think, can you survive a career as a law enforcement official in the streets for 25 years? I've been in 6 years. I've had several broken bones, including a needle stick. So that question's constantly going up. And then the current climate with our crime, with the rise in crime in Albuquerque, I think it's becoming more and more difficult to compete with private industry as far as a pay scale, and safety is a paramount concern for individuals here.
I thought, so it's 25 years, not 20 years? Is APD 20 years?
I think APD changed theirs as well.
So full retirement is at 25?
25 years now. Through para.
Okay. So right now, the sheriff has authority within the city, correct?
Correct.
Okay. But APD doesn't have authority outside of in the unincorporated areas? Do they?
They are cross-commissioned, as I understand.
You're a cross-commission, okay, so you try to support each other.
Correct.
Okay. But it's sort of still, though, if it's within the city, unless they call you, is that kind of the understanding?
There's been several circumstances where APD might be short on detectives or available persons for a certain call, and they will request assistance from us, and we answer those calls. One area that is a constant kind of crossover of who has jurisdiction is the Walmart on Rio Bravo and Coors. Because we're so close and it's also in the center of the South Valley, we'll answer a lot of calls for service for APD in that area because we can arrive there a lot quicker and provide a faster response.
So I was wondering, Madam, our manager, if there's been discussions with all of the city, the agencies, the region, people coming together and trying to figure this out, because, that would be good if maybe we had those discussions cross-agency and also have the city leader sit down and figure this out. Because it hurts all of us as a region if we do not have a very stable police force or public safety force, whatever you want to call it. So that's the
So,
question.
Madam Chair, Commissioner O'Malley, I couldn't agree with you more, and it only makes sense. And it's what's best for the community, not what's best for any one agency. But you're absolutely right. It's what's best for our citizens. So we should have that discussion.
Thank you.
Commissioner Smith.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I wanted to also thank you guys for coming by to make me aware of this situation, because as you know, those of us that have a large unincorporated area, we rely on the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office, and people in my district really appreciate the work you guys do. I did have a question about this cross-commissioning, though, that I hadn't really thought of. We have some APD cars out in the East Mountain area, for instance, that, that are take-home cars, I suppose. But do they ever respond to anything in the rural areas?
So far, it only works one way. We have the availability, the manpower, and the speed to get to these areas quicker and respond. APD, they have a pretty far backlog on calls. Their response time is a lot slower than ours.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. That's really the only question I had. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to follow up on Commissioner O'Malley's comments. So my district, District 3, is entirely within the city of Albuquerque, with one very small exception. It's sometimes hard to explain to my constituents why they pay for BCSO and don't. And I know there's a percentage of services like serving warrants or things that you do in District 3, but do you see any way of resolving that? That District 3 residents pay every penny of county tax that people in the unincorporated area do, but really don't get the bulk of your services. See any way of resolving that?
They do receive a good amount of our services, especially if a crime was committed within the city of Albuquerque, especially in my specialization in Special Victims Unit. If they cannot respond to that, we will cross-cover for them. So if there's any area that APD will fall short on, we cover down normally for them on that area. If there's any crash, I live within the city limits. So when I drive down, if there's any crash or speeding vehicle or violation that I see on the way to the South Valley, I will stop and handle that.
Thank you. And I do recognize particularly the GHOST unit, your Special Victims Unit, does a lot of work, in the International District, for example, in Nob Hill. So I do
Correct.
appreciate that. I think there still, is a question, when there's a spike in crime, my district has 3 of the 5 crime hotspots. Is there a
Yes.
way that we can bring more BCSO resources, to these incorporated areas? So, I've discussed that with the sheriff. I hope that at some point we can have some kind of resolution
Yes.
to that issue.
Yes, we do citywide TAC plans. One was the Operation Safe Child that was just recently completed. We were specifically in that area, in the international zone for that. We covered a lot of residences and did some great things there. In the past, a lot of our deputies who are east do like to patrol the central and tramway area because of the influx of crime there. But with the shortages of manpower and current, I guess, the shortages in us allocating people where we need them, that's kind of cut down on us being able to patrol in APD areas like we want to.
Great. Well, I hope we can continue working on that. Commissioner O'Malley?
Yeah, and I don't know how we would begin that process to reaching out, because APD is still short, aren't they short 1,000 officers? Aren't they trying to recruit 1,000? That's a lot of officers to try to
Yes.
recruit. So, putting you're under pressure, both departments are under pressure in terms of the increased crime, and I think that we've made some headway there. It seems that way, that there's been some headway, in particular car thefts and property crimes. I think that maybe they've gone down in some areas, and so I know that you guys are working really hard. It's just that in terms of this sort of competition for limited resources, we've got to figure something out, because we can't be going back and forth here. So that's all I'm saying, is that we could start that conversation and see where we could collectively come up with, so that we support the officers there, provide the fair support, be fair about this, and also
Correct.
realize that, you have a very difficult job. As you said, you don't know from one moment to the next whether or not you're going to come back to work the next day, or get severely injured. And so how do we, look at minimizing that risk as well? So
Correct.
I know there's a lot going on. So
And-
I do appreciate your concerns.
Thank you very much. And we're also in a competition with other regions that are close to us. If you went to Dallas or San Antonio, San Diego, or Denver, we're also in competition with them for retention of our educated, highly trained individuals who can come into the pool workforce for APD or BCSO, because a lot of them are leaving the city to go to other areas that pay more. So-
And I guess there's also there's a lot of factors in terms of people moving, quality of life, education, schools,
Correct.
all these things that will factor into that too, I'm sure. I'd appreciate you all coming to talk with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Francine Cronshaw, John Schrader, Anna Maldonado, and Ted Naminsky.
Welcome.
Should I
ma'am.
wait or not?
No, she had to leave, so please.
Okay. Well, Madam Vice Chair, Commissioner Smith, I'm here tonight to present approximately 500 signatures on a petition calling for the end of the use of glyphosate, an herbicide, in public zones in Bernalillo County, or administered by Bernalillo County. And I have PDFs of those petitions, if I could put those into the record.
Yes.
Thank you. So glyphosate is an herbicide, and it's been in the active ingredient in Roundup, and it's been in the news quite a bit recently, to the tune of $289 million, as a judgment for someone who suffered or who is dying from a malignancy related to glyphosate exposure. It's classified as a probable human carcinogen by the International Agency of Research of Cancer, which is under the aegis of the World Health Organization. It's also been linked to the decline in monarch butterfly population and shown to negatively affect honeybees, probably or possibly contributing to colony decline there. And I'm not sure if you were aware, but in 2017, Bernalillo County spent approximately $12,000 on glyphosate alone. And in the last 4 years, that's ranged from $9,000 to over $16,000. And I want to point out that it's sprayed, is that 30 seconds left?
Please, go. Well, you can go ahead.
At senior centers, Little League fields, parks, trails, open spaces, and just in Bukeke Open Space in 2017, where we just had the 20th anniversary of the Open Space program, over 1,300 gallons of pesticides were sprayed in the Bukeke Open Space area, 1,380 gallons. That's a mixture that include glyphosate. But there are plenty of other options, and we certainly hope as the persons who can make that decision that you choose to use something else other than glyphosate. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. If you don't mind, stay a moment. It's interesting that you should bring this up because I just asked actually our department deputy director. You want to come on up, Vince? I just sent him an email yesterday because someone had asked about this. This is something that's been, I think, in a lot of folks, you know, it certainly has been in the background because of, now glyphosate interrupts the plant ability for a plant to mature and its system, right? I mean, that's what it does.
Yeah, it's
called, there's something called, I forget it.
Yeah, it's like the shikimic
Yes,
acid
right.
pathway. But basically, it's a contact desiccant, is that you have to put it, it's not something you can aerial spray or you wide spray. It's supposed to go directly on the plant when the plant is very small still. And I think some of the other speakers can give you some more information about issues. But just even the proper use of it, I wonder, that's something to consider in and of itself. So I don't know if you wanted.
Okay. Well, I mean, there was some, so of course, because taking care of weeds is pretty labor intensive, especially along ditch banks, et cetera. And of course,
Right.
it's migrating throughout our water systems, et cetera, that there's some concern, of course, about the cost. But I think there are some ideas on how to, minimize this, the use of something like this, which I think is important. And we do have some folks that are willing to look into it, but maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, Vince Murphy, Deputy County Manager, Community Services. I did respond to your email. I got a hold of our land management folks. It's a very technical response. I did ask that we get a meeting together and talk about. I think there's a sensitivity to the issues around usage of any chemicals. Then the reverse is how do we, the minute it starts raining, we get a lot of phone calls from people about the weeds and stuff. So I think we're sensitive to the issue. I don't have answers at this point. We've just started to take a look and figure out what can we do to create at least a balance in the usage.
Well, and that's a good point about the correct use of something like this would be important. The individual who responded, whose job it is to oversee the maintenance,
Ed Martinez.
Ed Martinez mentioned that there were some things maybe initially we could do to reduce, to create, so that the problem doesn't get really out of control. And that's what happens too, is that you end up with such large weeds that we just start to dump all this chemical on them and hoping that it'll take an effect, and we're just spraying it all over the place. And a lot of times the weeds aren't even affected when they're that size. Right. But this is something that's been a concern for people for some time now. And I think we should definitely look at it and look at what the options are. I don't think we've really looked at what and to come forward and say, okay, well, these are the options, and this is the cost associated with them. And at least we know what the cost was. I think a lot of folks right away said, well, it's going to be very expensive. How expensive? And the cost in relationship to our health, right? I mean, our health is very important to us, so maybe the cost isn't that big of a deal. I don't know, but I appreciate you following up, and it looks like Mr. Martinez is also going to.
And we'll pull in our public health folks along with Ed and his folks and come back with some proposed solutions.
Okay, thank you very much. And then we have someone who's going to speak, I guess. We have a next speaker. Welcome.
Vice Chair, Commissioner Smith. Thank you for having us, and I appreciate the comments that have just been made about glyphosate. I would like to share a human interest story in that regard. Some years ago, we had a visitor from Colombia, South America, from the Putumayo region, which is not just a record label. Actually, it's a region that's on the border of Ecuador. And it was a lovely gentleman who had been in the priesthood and recently gotten married. Anyway, he was telling us about the glyphosate spraying down in the Putumayo. And this was part of the drug eradication program to get rid of the coca plants. So what happened after they sprayed was the rivers were full of dead fish, and all the trees died, the banana trees that people are dependent on, the cattle died, and everything died except the coca plants, which are actually very hardy weeds, it turns out. But that's not the punchline. The saddest part of the story was our visitor's wife was expecting when he was visiting here, and the baby was born several months later with very serious birth defects, which they attributed to the damage in the water and the environment generally from glyphosate. So I just wanted to say thank you very much for having a committee to work on this issue. We don't need our green spaces and where children play full of dangerous chemicals. Thank you.
Thank you. And glyphosate isn't the only one, right? There's other poisons, of course, that we're spraying as well, and probably
Certainly.
even worse in some cases.
Right. We're
Yeah.
staying focused on this for now.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Don Schrader, Anna Maldonado, and Tad Naminsky.
Don Schrader. Stop all spraying by the county of the popular poison weed killer glyphosate, also known as Roundup. A California jury recently awarded $289 million to a man who often sprayed Roundup on his job and got cancer. Like cigarette companies who lied for many years denying the dangers of smoking, Monsanto has lied for years about their product, Roundup. Read this book in our public library entitled Whitewash, The Story of a Weed Killer, Cancer, and the Corruption of Science by Carrie Gillum. Monsanto smears scientists who publish research damning Roundup. Roundup causes DNA damage and cell death. Roundup kills good gut bacteria, increases bad gut bacteria. Roundup is one cause of infertility, obesity, autism, depression, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, liver diseases, and cancer. My friend Mary Macias, a long-time South Valley farmer, used Roundup before she knew how dangerous it is. She died of cancer months ago. A student I knew at School on Wheels years later sprayed Roundup on his job, got cancer. Thousands of lawsuits against Monsanto claim Roundup has caused cancers. Stop all spraying by the county of glyphosate Roundup.
Hello, Vice Chair and Commissioners. My name is Anna Maldonado, and I'm here representing the UNM Food Justice Initiative in regard to the use of glyphosate. And it's been brought to our attention the man suffering in California. He was a groundskeeper, and it was his job to spray glyphosate on school grounds. He was awarded to over $200 million for damages and for punitive damages, and he wants to spread the word that this is very dangerous and it shouldn't be used, and it's his goal, if he survives, to get the word out to people. And we encourage the county, the city of Albuquerque and Bernalillo County to stop the use of glyphosate so that we can protect human health and the environment that we all share, and especially on grounds where children play and where people surround themselves. And we ask that you please stop the use of this product. Thank you.
My name is Ted Niemiecki. Well, looking just ahead, so brings me to the question: do we have Bernalillo County has constitutional government? Only 2 commissioners, elected officials? Well, how can you pass even with 5? That's not Bernalillo County, not constitutional government. There is simply corporation run without oversight, check and balance. Federal government, we have president who oversee corporation. Of course, we have Congress and Senate, which is keeps check and balance, so each branch won't overpower each other. And I can go on to state. Yes, same way state has Senate and Congress. And here you want to pass a law? I'm sorry. These laws are unconstitutional. We don't have check and balance. Well, here in the county, we don't even have we have just county manager. We don't have, city council has mayor, elected official. In Bernalillo County, nobody but, I'm seeing right now, 2 commissioners. Crime, criminal being released from the jail. Security cannot touch it because of liability. Shoplifters walking by every day untouched. It is America where we live. I'm sorry, this country I'm speaking, this city, county and city. Shame on you to all. It is totally wrong. Do we have justice? What kind of justice do we have? Bernalillo County, well, I had experience, and I'm doing a lot of cases, and I'm going to be in district court many, many times.
Mr. Kaminsky, your time is up. In fact, you've gone over.
Oh, thank you.
But you're welcome.
Also Bernalillo County.
That concludes public comment.
Okay, was there anything else on the agenda? That was not on the agenda. Well, I do thank you all, and I want to thank the government for being here, because we aren't, we make some decisions, but it's the folks who work every day to make this county work, and folks in the city make the city work. So thank you all for all the work that you do for all of us. And this meeting is adjourned.